Right now, 7 on this Easter Sunday. We're waking up with a live shot of the Vatican as the faithful celebrate the holiday.
And rain is on the way. When can you expect it to arrive today on your Easter Sunday? We've got some soggy weather in the forecast. I have all the details using Future Track.
And as the Supreme Court pauses the deportation of migrants from Venezuela, protests take place all across the country. We have the details ahead here on Weekend Mornings, and we thank you for joining us here on this new hour. I'm Kyle Pazorski, and let's get to the first warm forecast. Alex Harrington in for Jacob Madison this morning. Alex, happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you, too, and the folks on the other side of the camera. Yep. I'm sitting today, Kyle, just to let everybody know I injured my right foot. We'll get back into the swing of things.
But we still got the weather.
We still got the weather, and the weather never goes away. And we've got rain on the way, as I said today. Radar 3000, you're probably looking at that and you're thinking, well, where is it? Well, let's just zoom out a little bit. All we got to do is go to southern Iowa, northern parts of Missouri. We got rain, some embedded thunderstorms. That's going to be moving up from the southwest to the northeast. It's moving quickly, and it's going to be arriving in far southwest Wisconsin, Grant County, Iowa County, Lafayette County by the time we get to approximately 11, 12 o'clock. So if you have any outdoor activities that you want to do from La Crosse to Madison, you want to do those this morning. Still a chance to get in a little Easter egg hunt if you want to do that still outside this morning. But by the time we get into this afternoon, washout, showers, some embedded thunderstorms widespread across the area. Even a line of thunderstorms approaching areas from La Crosse to Viroqua to Lone Rock down to Platteville. By the time we get later this evening, that sweeps across the area with some additional scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight. We're not expecting severe weather with these showers and thunderstorms today, but some could have some small hail, gusty winds, and some lightning. Coming up in Maine weather, you may be wondering how much water can we expect, Alex, because we need it. We have drought conditions, and I'll let you know how many raindrops will fall.
All right, Alex, thank you. Got some big stories we're following. Protests against President Donald Trump and his administration continue to take place across the country. It was on Saturday when we saw once again people come to the state capitol here in Madison, all to take part in the National Day of Action. It's part of a movement of people voicing their concerns over actions being taken by the federal government.
Show them that we're not going to tolerate what they're doing because they're in violation of the law and the Constitution. Right. And that's unacceptable. They're in violation of their oaths. As far as I'm concerned, they need to lead, follow the law, follow us, or get out of the way and step down, especially when they're in violation of their oaths.
This is just one of many protests to reach the Capitol steps since Trump has retaken office earlier this year. A silver alert is in effect this morning for a man out of the Beloit area. Beloit police are looking for David Grady. As you can see there, he's described as a black man, about 6 feet, 4 inches tall, and weighing about 250 pounds. He was last seen wearing a blue hoodie and black joggers. David is believed to be driving a 2017 gray Dodge Caravan. Anyone who has seen him is asked to call Beloit police at the number on your screen. That number is 608-757-2244. Overseas, a live look now at the Vatican. This morning, Pope Francis delivered the traditional Easter blessing and appeared from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. Beautiful live shot as we have there. He did so in front of a delighted crowd in what marks his highest profile appearance yet since being discharged from a Rome hospital. The 88-year-old pontiff has not led the main Holy Week and Easter services, but has made brief appearances over this Easter weekend. And we also learned that Vice President J.D. Vance, he met with the Pope this morning. It was yesterday, these photos you're seeing here, when Catholic Church officials met with the VP in the first in-person talks between the Vatican and second Trump presidency. Vance, a Catholic who has clashed with the Pope over President Trump's immigration crackdown, reportedly had, quote, cordial talks that included an exchange of opinions on the international situation. The Supreme Court put a temporary pause on new deportations of Venezuelans held in northern Texas in an unusual decision overnight yesterday. Then hours later, President Trump was spotted golfing at his golf club in Virginia alongside Elon Musk. CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports on the latest administration developments.
The White House says the Trump administration is confident of what it calls the lawlessness of a Supreme Court order that halts the deportation of migrants from the Bluebonnet Detention Center in Anson, Texas, until further notice from the court. The decision was 7-2, with Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito dissenting. Lee Gallant, the lead attorney for the ACLU, which sued to stop the deportations, said in a statement, these men were in imminent danger of spending their lives in a horrific foreign prison without ever having had a chance to go to court. It's the latest judicial challenge revolving around President Trump's use of the 18th century wartime law, the Alien Enemies Act, to remove migrants he says are gang members, including Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Is an illegal alien MS-13 gang member and foreign terrorist. This comes out of the State Department and very legitimate sources.
The Maryland father's supporters and lawyers say that's not true. The Department of Homeland Security has admitted Abrego Garcia was deported by mistake. Maryland Democratic Senator Chris Van Hollen met with him Friday in El Salvador.
Depriving Kilmar of his constitutional rights is a threat to everybody who resides in America. He had not heard that. I believe that gave him additional strength.
There were more protests this weekend against the administration in cities across the country, including Washington and Houston.
We are trying to uphold the Constitution and ask the government to end their executive overreach.
Another demonstration shut down Madison Avenue in New York City. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
And the Trump administration has filed paperwork asking the Supreme Court to reconsider its deportation order. Meanwhile, the Wisconsin Supreme Court handed down Friday a new ruling on the governor's line item veto. The court ruled in a 4-3 decision that Governor Evers or any governor can cross out certain numbers in the state budget. You may recall it was 2 years ago when Evers creatively cut out certain parts of the state budget, all to extend education funding some 400 years into the future. A UW legal expert says Wisconsin's veto was one of the most powerful seen anywhere.
Yes, so a lot of states have this partial veto that allows the governor to strike parts of an appropriations bill. But Wisconsin's is the most powerful in the country. It really allows the governor to selectively edit words, or in this case, digits, to sort of create new law.
Now, state lawmakers have been waiting for the court to make this decision, all before moving forward on working on the state budget. Based on this decision, we could see lawmakers take extra time in crafting the next 2-year spending plan. Will Keneally has more details coming up later today at 10:30 on For the Record. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction will not sign a request from the U.S. Department of Education. The request is to certify that the DPI will not use federal funds to favor certain groups. State Superintendent Dr. Jill Underly says the Department of Education has been unresponsive to requests for clarifications on its demand, and that the process and rules around the certification are vague. Got some news on the Health Watch this morning. Measles is spreading across the U.S., and officials have now confirmed more than 800 cases of the disease in 25 states. Texas has by far the most cases, although some concentrated outbreaks were reported in New Mexico as well as in Oklahoma. The U.S. had previously declared measles eliminated back in 2000. The FDA is reminding parents that all batches of Gerber's Soothe and Chew teething sticks have been recalled and should not be given to their children. The FDA issued the recall reminder on Friday after receiving reports that the product is still available at some retailers and online. Gerber initially announced the recall earlier this year and said the product poses a potential choking hazard for babies and young children. The recalled teething sticks came in strawberry, apple, and banana flavors and were sold nationwide. At the time of the initial recall, Gerber says at least one emergency room visit was reported. Coming up on 10 past the hour, still ahead, got an update on how the Tallahassee community is coming together following Thursday's university shooting. Plus, as we wake up on this Easter Sunday, Alex will be back with a full check of what to expect if you plan to head outside. This is Weekend Mornings. With a live shot of Green Bay, showed this yesterday, showing it again today. We are now 4 days out until the NFL draft. You can see Lambeau Field, the historic and iconic Lambeau Field there in the background. That's where the football fans of the world will head this week for the draft. And it will be featuring about 7 rounds this year, with the first round beginning at around 7 o'clock Central Time on Thursday. I know we got a few people here from our station that are going to be going up there, and a lot of fans from around Wisconsin, now that it's in Green Bay, are going to be going out there. So let's check in with Alex, see how the forecast for that's going to be.
Bring the umbrella. You won't need it the entire time, but you're going to need an umbrella nonetheless. Kyle and folks heading up to Lambeau. 62 on Thursday, 59 Friday, 57. That's the plus side. Temperatures are going to be at or just a touch above where they should be for this time of year. Best chance for rain showers will be later on Thursday night. Still can't rule out an isolated shower on Friday. Saturday looks like the sun will make a return, so that's the better of the 3 days in terms of dry time. So our forecast, not too bad for the upcoming NFL draft, just to be ready to dodge a couple of showers. Now, speaking of showers, we got a lot of rain and showers and thunderstorms that are going to move into the area from La Crosse to Madison as we go from this afternoon into the overnight period. Up to an inch of rain, maybe some isolated higher amounts near and west of the Mississippi River. Staying mild and, as I just said, unsettled as we go through the rest of the week. Nothing in radar 3000 right now, but that's going to change. I want to just zoom on out here, give you a little better look as we look down to Iowa, Missouri. We got a big area of rain, showers and thunderstorms. Those showers and storms are going to be moving very quickly towards the north and towards the east. Note there's a severe thunderstorm watch over parts of southwest Missouri. They will have severe weather well to the south. Not expecting severe weather in our neck of the woods. Showers breaking out as we go towards lunchtime. You see the oranges and the yellows scattered about. Those are those embedded scattered thunderstorms. Lightning, some small hail, gusty winds can't be ruled out. And then perhaps a larger line of showers and embedded thunderstorms stretching from La Crosse down to Viroqua, down to Dodgeville and Mineral Point as we head towards the 9-10 o'clock hour. It sweeps across central and southern Wisconsin with a few additional scattered showers and thunderstorms as warm air actually tries to move in overnight tonight. Again, severe weather threat at this point looks like it's going to stay to the south, but we're going to keep a close eye on that. There's a tiny narrow window of opportunity for the potential. I'm just going to kind of outline that here. That would stretch Madison, Monroe, Janesville over towards Watertown. If we get just enough warmth, just enough moisture, we can't rule out an isolated stronger storm that maybe approach severe limits as we go towards the late evening hours. So that's a tiny chance. Look at this from tonight through the overnight, through Monday at 6 o'clock in the morning, through Monday as we go towards the lunch hour, winds 25 to 35 mile per hour gusts, and that will continue even as the rain ends on Monday. Those gusty winds carrying on in from the north and from the west as we extend into Monday afternoon. There's the water projection here. 1 inch plus for areas closer to the Mississippi River, about a ½ inch from Madison and points off towards the east. Again, that severe weather threat is to the south of the area, but we're keeping an eye on it. But we need the water. We don't need the severe weather, but we don't need the severe weather, but we need the water, and we need that water because we still have abnormally dry conditions to moderate drought conditions south and west of the Madison area towards the Mississippi River. Again, temperatures climbing into the 50s, rain showers breaking out in our Easter eggs here. If you observe Easter, the next chance of rain Tuesday night, the next chance of rain again Thursday night for both Madison, La Crosse, and our friends up towards Green Bay for that NFL draft. So an unsettled and mild week ahead after our late Sunday Easter soaker.
All right, Alex, thank you. Some more national news. Classes will resume Monday at Florida State University. It was on Thursday when 2 people were killed and 5 others were hurt when a gunman opened fire near the student union. CBS's Katie Weiss is in Tallahassee with an update.
It was pretty terrifying. We were on lockdown. The FSU police were the ones that took care of the shooter. We were so proud of what they did because it could have been so much worse.
FSU President Richard McCullough says the university is setting up resources for the victims of Thursday's mass shooting. The gunman injured 5 people and killed 2 men working on campus.
It's overwhelming because I feel a responsibility to keep everybody safe, as part of my job.
A memorial on the FSU campus grows by the day. Police say the accused gunman, 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, sustained significant injuries during a shootout with officers and will likely be in the hospital for some time before he can be criminally charged.
At this point, there does not appear to be any connection at all between the shooter and any of the victims.
As investigators gather more evidence, the community begins the tough task of trying to heal.
How do you feel that living through something like this changes how you lead moving forward?
It's unfortunate this is becoming more commonplace, but we're strong and we'll work through it together.
Now, police say the suspect used a handgun that belonged to his stepmom. She's a local county sheriff's deputy who is now on personal leave. I'm Katie Weiss, CBS News, Tallahassee, Florida.
3 people are dead after a small plane crashed into the Platte River near Fremont, Nebraska. The 3 victims were the only ones on board the aircraft at the time. The plane had been traveling along the river at the time of this crash. The NTSB and FAA are both set to investigate the cause of the crash later on today. Car manufacturers are already previewing their 2026 vehicle lineups, but President Trump's tariffs are giving buyers some pause. Industry experts say even if you're not buying a car yourself, it will cost you. CBS's Allie Bauman is at the New York International Auto Show with an explanation.
Some buyers perusing the showroom floor say they are not racing to the dealership.
Are you worried about the tariffs making it more expensive?
Absolutely. It's going to be ridiculous. So we're going to wait and ride the storm out as long as we can.
Analysts say President Trump's new 25% tariffs on auto imports and auto parts that do not comply with the terms of the U.S.-Canada-Mexico trade agreement that he negotiated in his first term will raise car prices.
There are some manufacturers that may put a new line on the MSRP that says here's a additional cost because of the tariffs.
Volvo blames waning demand for its plan to lay off 800 workers at 3 U.S. facilities, including the Mack truck site in Pennsylvania. Buick's new lineup brought its sales up 39% in the first quarter, but 3 of their most popular models are made overseas.
I don't think manufacturers are going to be able to turn a switch and all of a sudden say we're going to build everything in the United States.
Experts say even if you are not in the market for a new car, you could still end up paying more due to tariffs on aluminum and steel.
That consumer is totally in charge. And if it's too expensive for them, they're going to pull away.
And Ford Motor is already warning of potential price hikes as early as this summer. The president's tariffs on automobiles are also pushing up the costs of replacement parts and maintenance. And when those costs go up, so does the cost of auto insurance. Allie Bauman, CBS News, New York.
And it's now 7:20, still ahead. Alex will have a quick check of today's forecast. Plus, here's a look at today's day in history.
The Bucks finished the regular season on an 8-game winning streak, and the hope was that the momentum would swing into the postseason. But the Pacers quickly reminded the Deer that in the postseason, you can throw everything else out the window. Giannis, who's played just 2 playoff games in the last 2 years, was healthy and fantastic. Converts the reverse layup to give the Bucks an 8-7 lead, but that was their last lead of the game. In the second, trailing by 15, the Freak attacks the rim with authority plus the foul. He finished with a game-high 36 points, but he couldn't do it all by himself. He wasn't the problem. His teammates, you could argue, were. As Doc Rivers said after the game, the Bucks offense was awful. There's still a whole lot of series to go, though. The Pacers punished the Bucks in Game 1, winning it 117-98, the final. To the football field, how about this? Yesterday was the spring showcase for Wisconsin football, their version of a spring game. Certainly an underwhelming crowd for the intra-squad scrimmage, but the pads were popping, and there is just something special about that. This practice or showcase is what players tell us is their best chance to impress the coaching staff before fall. Before yesterday's Wisconsin softball game, a young girl, Savannah Weigel, got to throw out the first pitch. But that's not even the cool part. You see, her dad, Jonathan, is a master sergeant in the U.S. Army who's been deployed for 6.5 months. He returned to U.S. soil, and his daughter didn't know it, which led to a surprise that she will never forget.
Plus, her father, Master Sergeant Jonathan Weigel.
Badgers were Elliott.
And you didn't think they were going to lose after all of that, did you? Now, the Gophers playing the Badgers in a border battle. Wisconsin's been really impressive of late, and that continued yesterday, 6th inning, and that's where the Badgers got going. Ellie Hubbard hits the solo shot to tie things up, or to give them the lead, I should say, and then later winning by 3, make it winning by 6. They 6-run 6th inning makes it a Badgers W. They win it 9-6 thanks to that 3-run bomb from Emmy Wells. And the Brewers hosting the Athletics. Brent Rooker tied at 1 in the 6th inning. The Athletics' second-year stud, he goes deep. Looked like Garrett Mitchell got that one. He did not. And the Athletics go on to break the Brewers' winning streak. They take it by a final score of 3-1. That is your morning sports fix. Have a sensational Sunday.
It's 7:30 right now. A Wisconsin business is looking to curb binge drinking amongst young women. We've got the details ahead.
Dry weather right now, and get outside while it lasts because rain is on the way. Your Easter Sunday weather forecast in just a couple moments.
And plan accordingly. Take a look at the businesses that are open and closed today. We'll have those details and more here on Weekend Mornings. Hello, I'm Kyle Pazarski here on this Sunday, April 20th, and Alex Harrington will lead us off with a look at that first warm forecast. Good morning, Alex, and happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too, Kyle. Southern Wisconsin, rain is on the way, but it's a couple hours away, so that's good news. If you want to get out, still go out for brunch. There's probably services if you observe Easter, and if you want to maybe do an Easter egg hunt, you can sneak that in over the course of the next couple of hours here. But by the time we get to the noon hour in Madison, those showers are going to be approaching the area. Same for La Crosse, just a couple hours delayed. Temperatures getting into the lower 50s today, but look at the winds too, amping up as well. These are sustained at 15 miles per hour. Gusts are going to be approaching nearly 30 miles per hour, both in Madison and in the La Crosse area as we get into the afternoon hours. Radar 3000, I've been showing this now since 6:30. High and dry, but it helps tell the story here. What's going to be happening is showers and thunderstorms are going to rapidly move in from the south and from the west. Right now, our storm tracker shows that area of showers and thunderstorms. This is round of number 1 of several that's going to be moving towards the north and towards the east very rapidly, making it into the area as we head into the afternoon hours. Just to give you a glimpse here, look at by the time we get to this afternoon at 4 o'clock, scattered showers, a couple of embedded thunderstorms, some small hail, frequent lightning and gusty winds can't be ruled out. In Maine weather, we'll track the rest of our shower and storm chances and how much water you can expect by the time the rain is done.
Certainly need the rain, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right, well, we're going to get it. All right, thank you, Alex. All right, topping our news, new data is suggesting that young women are now binge drinking more than their male counterparts. Reporter Ellie LaLiberte shares some reasons as to why that is and what the dangers are.
Meet Christy Tanner.
I opened the first non-alcoholic bottle shop in the state of Wisconsin.
She started Sober Social in Middleton because of her own experiences.
I really struggled with alcohol addiction.
That struggle is something Christy isn't alone in. Women ages 19 to 25 are now binge drinking more than men in the same age group.
It's so normalized.
It's a new trend that heightened back in 2020.
The numbers for binge drinking for women is, I think, anything over 7 drinks in a week. And when I think back to my college experience, it's like I had 7 drinks in a night, and nobody was questioning it.
But she says binge drinking can follow you after college.
For women when they become moms, this mommy wine culture, right? Like this might not be water, right? Everyone thinks that's funny until it's true.
Binge drinking can lead to health complications like liver cancer.
You can socialize and be sober, but we have to have options.
Christy is well aware of the social aspects of drinking, which is why she started Sober Social, to provide that new option.
There's a real opportunity right now for women to be like, we're gonna take this back. Like we're in our mocktail era now.
Reporting in Middleton, Ellie LaLiberte, News 3 Now.
And Ellie, thank you. The study also found men in older age groups are overall still drinking more heavily. In more local news, protests against President Donald Trump and his administration continued to take place Saturday. Once again, saw people come to the state capitol here in Madison. Many coming to speak up for veterans and others voicing concerns over political issues taken by the Trump administration.
Show them that we're not going to tolerate what they're doing because they're in violation of the law and the Constitution.
Right.
And that's unacceptable. They're in violation of their oaths. So as far as I'm concerned, they need to lead, follow the law, follow us, or get out of the way and step down, especially when they're in violation of their oaths.
And this is just one of many protests that take place outside the Capitol and others across the country since Trump has retaken office earlier this year. Meanwhile, in the nation's capital, the Supreme Court has put a pause on the deportation of immigrants under the Alien Enemies Act. The Saturday ruling freezes any action in the case involving a group of Venezuelan immigrants in Texas. The lead attorney for the ACLU, which sued to stop the deportations, said in a statement these men were in imminent danger of spending their lives in a horrific foreign prison without having ever had a chance to go to court. The Supreme Court issued the pause without explaining their reasoning. And worshipers this morning gathered at St. Peter's Square in the Vatican for Easter Sunday Mass. Pope Francis made a brief appearance on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica. However, the Vatican celebrated Easter on Sunday without Pope Francis presiding as the pontiff continues his recovery from a near fatal bout with double pneumonia. All right, it is 7:35, still ahead here on Weekend Mornings. Kyrian Lee has a health conversation on why having a good sleep routine is crucial to good health. Stick with us.
Into the area by the time we get to the lunch hour. Starting off here right at lunch, some showers over far southwest Wisconsin, but they're going to advance towards the north and towards the east very quickly. Notice the oranges and the yellows here. Those are some scattered thunderstorms stretching from, let's just say, the Decorah, Iowa area to La Crosse to the Dells, east over to Watertown as this leading push of moisture moves into the area. There'll be additional showers and thunderstorms moving in after a brief lull in the shower and thunderstorm activity during the early evening hours. A line of showers and embedded thunderstorms stretching from La Crosse down into southwest Wisconsin that pushes across the area. Dells, Madison, over to Janesville between about 10 o'clock and midnight. Keep a close eye on that line. Small hail, frequent lightning, gusty winds. Those would be the main threats with any thunderstorms that we have this evening. We'll keep an eye on those showers and those storms. A few more showers and storms as we go into the overnight period. Again, rain enters the picture both in Madison and on La Crosse by the time we get into the early afternoon hours in Maine weather. We'll add up the raindrops. We'll show you the total amount of precipitation in just a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. And as you hop off to enjoy your Easter plans today, it is important to keep in mind which businesses will be open and which will be closed. Most grocery stores like Walmart, Kroger's, and Trader Joe's are operating during their regular hours. If you're looking for a place to eat, you're in luck, as many places like fast food chains as well as chain restaurants where you sit down are also still operational today. However, there are some places that are closed. This is a short little list that we compiled here. Some retailers like Target and Best Buy, grocery warehouses, Costco and Sam's Club, grocery stores of TJ Maxx and JCPenney, as well as many postal offices, as well as banks are all closed. A study by the National Sleep Foundation found that more than 1/3 of Americans in the United States get less than the recommended 7 hours of sleep per night. And on top of that, about half of all Americans say they feel consistently sleepy during the day. Our Kyrian Lee sits down with Dr. Rupa Shah this morning on why establishing a consistent bedtime routine is so crucial.
Establishing a consistent bedtime routine is crucial for achieving restful and rejuvenating sleep. SSM Health's Dr. Rupa Shah is here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So first, why is it important to have a consistent bedtime routine?
Yeah, consistency is so key when we're talking about sleep because it really just helps our body get into a nice rhythm, and it really helps regulate what we call that circadian rhythm, right? It really aligns our bodies with when it's time to wake up and then kind of calming ourselves, towards the end of the day and gets us ready for sleep. That leads to better quality sleep, better quantity sleep, and we know that when we sleep better, our overall health is better as well.
So what activities should be included in an ideal bedtime routine? I know that's not always easy to kind of just line out.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we can do. We always talk a lot here about like sleep hygiene. Those are all the things that we do to prepare ourselves for a good night's sleep. Reading a book, right? Something that's calming, something that's light. You don't want to read anything that's going to get you too, amped up close to bed. Meditation, mindfulness, these are things that can really help us relax our minds and tell our bodies that it's time to get into sleep. Taking a warm bath helps to relax our muscles. Again, just getting us into that transition from a busy day to preparedness for sleep so we can have a good night's sleep.
And for those of us with kids, is that kind of the same thing that we should be doing here?
Yeah, absolutely. Even our kids, nowadays, just getting them ready for having a good bedtime routine so they know that, we read a book and then we slowly go to bed. Getting even kids and adults off of our screens at night and avoiding that blue light late at night, which we know that sends signals to our brain and kind of disrupts that melatonin, which is that sleep hormone. So getting a lot of those screen times late at night can also disrupt our sleep.
And how long should a bedtime routine last?
Yeah, anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes is a good idea, right?
Okay.
Just giving you enough time to, again, transition slowly to getting ready for bed.
All right. Yeah. Dr. Shah, is there anything else that you can add to this besides getting some good rest?
No, just really prioritizing sleep. I think sometimes people forget how important that is to your overall health and well-being. It's not just sleep, but it really reduces our risk for developing different chronic diseases and can even help control some of the chronic diseases people have, like diabetes, high blood pressure, and even weight.
Yes, all good things to keep in mind. Sleep, very important here.
Yeah.
And Dr. Shah, before we go, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Wellness with Dr. Shah.
Dr. Shah, thank you so much.
Thanks again.
And our time now, 7:43 on your Sunday morning. Still ahead, Andrew is back with another check of Saturday's sports highlights. Plus, Alex has a full check of your first warn Eastern forecast. This is Weekend Mornings.
Otherwise, happy Sunday. And I'm going to be sitting on Sunday, injured the right foot, so I appreciate the accommodation. But we can still do the weather, and we can leave me here in our image so that you're able to see me, do the weather from me to you here. Bottom line, rain and showers and thunderstorms are going to increase as we move through the afternoon hours. Some heavy rainfall is possible with some of those storms. A good chance of about a good inch of rain for a good portion of the area from Madison areas west, about a half inch east of Madison. I'll show that graphic to you in just a moment. Mild and unsettled through the rest of the upcoming work week. All right, radar 3000. I keep showing this here from a little bit of a dramatic standpoint because there's nothing out there right now. This is the good news. We've got a little bit of dry time between now and let's say about noon across the area as an area of showers and thunderstorms off towards the south and towards the west are quickly advancing. This is round number one over southern Iowa, northeastern Missouri. That's going to be quickly moving towards the north and east, towards the La Crosse area, towards the Madison area, eventually getting up here as we head towards noon in southwest Wisconsin, rapidly moving across the rest of southern and central Wisconsin. A couple of areas of yellows and oranges from left to right. Those are those scattered thunderstorms, some small hail, frequent lightning, and we can't rule out some gusty winds with some of these storms. Another line of showers and storms will develop across Iowa and Missouri, and severe weather will be possible with those storms well to our south. We'll get the leftover of that line of thunderstorms with some gusty winds as we move through this evening. On and off showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms through the early morning hours. Take a quick note here. Our winds turn out of the south, and this is out ahead of a warm front that actually lifts into the area as we go into this evening. So this area that I tried to circle there a little bit eloquently didn't work out quite as well. But my point in bringing this up here is that as we move through this evening, a little bit of warm air is going to try to move up into southern Wisconsin from La Crosse to Madison areas to the south. Windy conditions are going to continue throughout today, throughout tonight, and even as the weather in terms of precipitation wraps up on Monday. We're not going to have precipitation all the way through Wednesday. It's going to stay windy all the way through Monday as those winds come out of the west, gusting at times today and tonight and Monday between 35 and 40 miles per hour. Eventually, those winds will ease up as we get to Tuesday. Promise the total number of raindrops approaching 1 inch in Madison, approaching 1, maybe 2 inches out towards the Mississippi River, half inch to the east. Severe weather should stay to the south of the area. We're going to keep a close eye on that little nose of warm air coming up tonight. Has me a little bit concerned about the chance of maybe an isolated stronger storm this evening, but we'll keep a close eye on that. But we want the water because La Crosse to Dubuque, southwest Wisconsin, you are still dealing with moderate drought conditions. Kind of a recap with our Easter eggs, both for La Crosse and for Madison, getting up into the low 50s as that rain develops this afternoon. Next chance of rain Tuesday night, next good chance of rain Thursday night. And as we see, La Crosse and in Madison, temperatures in the 60s to near 70 this week with those on and off rain chances again repeat Tuesday night and again Thursday night for good chances of rain. And we do have that NFL draft. If you're heading to Lambeau Field on Thursday, expect to bring the umbrella as a few drops are going to be out and about.
The Bucks finished the regular season on an 8-game winning streak, and the hope was that the momentum would swing into the postseason. But the Pacers quickly reminded the Deer that in the postseason, you can throw everything else out the window. Giannis, who's played just 2 playoff games in the last 2 years, was healthy and fantastic. Converts the reverse layup to give the Bucks an 8-7 lead, but that was their last lead of the game. In the second, trailing by 15, the Freak attacks the rim with authority plus the foul. He finished with a game-high 36 points, but he couldn't do it all by himself. He wasn't the problem. His teammates, you could argue, were. As Doc Rivers said after the game, the Bucks offense was awful. There's still a whole lot of series to go, though. The Pacers punished the Bucks in Game 1, winning it 117-98, the final. To the football field, how about this? Yesterday was the spring showcase for Wisconsin football, their version of a spring game. Certainly an underwhelming crowd for the intra-squad scrimmage, but the pads were popping, and there is just something special about that. This practice or showcase is what players tell us is their best chance to impress the coaching staff before fall. Before yesterday's Wisconsin softball game, a young girl, Savannah Weigel, got to throw out the first pitch. But that's not even the cool part. You see, her dad, Jonathan, is a master sergeant in the U.S. Army who's been deployed for 6.5 months. He returned to U.S. soil, and his daughter didn't know it, which led to a surprise that she will never forget.
Plus, her father, Master Sergeant Jonathan Weigel.
Badgers were Elliott.
And you didn't think they were going to lose after all of that, did you? Now, the Gophers playing the Badgers in a border battle. Wisconsin's been really impressive of late, and that continued yesterday, 6th inning, and that's where the Badgers got going. Ellie Hubbard hits the solo shot to tie things up, or to give them the lead, I should say, and then later, winning by 3, make it winning by 6. They 6-run 6th inning, makes it a Badgers W. They win it 9-6. Thanks to that 3-run bomb from Emmy Wells. And the Brewers hosting the Athletics. Brent Rooker tied at 1 in the 6th inning. The Athletics' second-year stud, he goes deep. Looked like Garrett Mitchell got that one. He did not. And the Athletics go on to break the Brewers' winning streak. They take it by a final score of 3-1. That is your morning sports fix. Have a sensational Sunday.
The rain showers move in first into southwest Wisconsin, Viroqua over to Lone Rock to Madison by the time we get to the lunch hour. Then those showers will rapidly advance to the north. A couple thunderstorms as well as you head towards 4 o'clock. Another area of showers and thunderstorms moving through the area between 9 o'clock tonight, La Crosse, down to Viroqua, down towards the Platteville area at 9, sweeping into Madison, Janesville east as we head towards 10 to midnight. And then as we go into the early morning hours of Monday, still a couple showers and isolated thunderstorms from La Crosse to the Dells, Madison area towards Platteville as that area of low pressure sits really right over La Crosse. Some wet snow off to the west can mix in at times. Again, planning our day here in Madison, temperatures climbing up to 52 as those rain showers develop, and then we'll get up to 55 in La Crosse before those rain showers move on in. So soggy end to Easter Sunday.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you all for watching. Have a great Sunday.